Hi, I'm Elena, and as a teacher and a creative, I am intensely passionate about connecting with people through ideas, through creativity, and through the love of learning. I'm really interested in this position for Head of Student Success because as an English teacher in Japan, I really know the barriers that students are up against to connect through language. So not only do I want to be part of a more creative environment that helps students succeed, but I've also spent a lot of time in web design, helping people develop their ideas to best connect with their audience. And I love that work. I love working with ideas, but sometimes I'm not passionate about those ideas. So I see this position as combining two things that I really care about: helping students succeed with language and make their own connections to people in communities that they're interested in, and also to work on ideas and how to let those ideas best connect to their audience, to listen to student feedback, to be a channel for that feedback and that response, so that these ideas can shape and form and help students be the most successful learners that they can be. As someone who seeks to guide instead of direct, I'm a trusted ally for students and those that I work with. When I say this, I think most specifically of my work in web design, where the success of projects is largely related to defining ideas and defining the audience. And while these are really basic questions, they often cause a lot of doubt and fear and lead to more questions for clients. What the clients need is an ally. There's a lot of soul searching along this path, and they need words of support and encouragement, and they need the help of questions that guide them back to the reason that they're communicating this idea. And the more that they can own that process, the stronger that idea becomes. And I see this to be the same for students. The ally cannot give the students the answer, but the ally can help ask questions to help students clarify their path and to get back to it. How can I help them own their ideas and own their learning? Those answers will only come from within them. And when those answers come, they're powerful, they're strong, and they're lasting. I've recently started studying German, and it's given me a greater insight to where my students are at the beginning of their language journeys. I started learning Japanese when I came to Japan for the first time at the age of 22, and I'm now advanced in my ability to communicate. So it's refreshing for me to interact with these beginning stages again and to feel uncomfortable. It's made me a better ally to my students, though I understand that being a good ally isn't always about being able to relate to someone's experience. I've spent most of my adult life living outside of the United States, and I've developed a good sense for when I start to look at the world through my own cultural lens. And with this awareness, I can ask myself to quiet that lens and leave room to develop connections on other levels. I view this as being a very important skill to have when working with students from all different experiences, personalities, backgrounds, and for all different reasons for interacting with the language. Ideas are living, breathing things that are effective when they can connect and respond to the needs of their audience. It's the advocate's role to chart this connection and to create a channel for communication between the audience and the idea holders. In web design, it's my task to intimately get to know the audience. What are the questions that they're visiting the site with? What are they expecting to find? And what do they not know that they need, but we can give them? I do this through interviews, through looking at other sites and what information is presented there, what information isn't. One of the biggest sites I worked on was for a Montessori elementary school. The enrollment was down and the administration was trying to figure out how to best connect to their audience of prospective parents. So I turned to the parents and I asked them what they wish they would have known before coming to the school for the first time, what their fears for their child's success had been, what they knew about Montessori education, what they wish they would have known. And together, through questions and conversations, they came to understand what the most important thing for them was, and that was coming to the school and feeling the school atmosphere. And then I could ask them why. What would that have changed for you? And how would you have been most likely to have done that sooner than you did? Did you do it soon enough? What would you say to other prospective parents in order to entice them to do that. So I took all this information and I was able to give it to the administration, outlining the feelings and the reasons that these were the conclusions that the parents came to, that the audience came to. I see this process as easily translating to the responsibilities of the head of student success, as it's their job to really know the students, their needs and their expectations, and to advocate and speak for the students so that the ideas then can reflect their needs and mold to better fit and serve and support them. In teaching in the classroom, I can see the way my students are interacting with the material, and I can allow that to inform and shape my teaching. In web design, this concept is a little bit different, and it relates more to what the head of student success will be expected to do. And that's not only to understand what the audience or the students need, but it's to be able to communicate that and suggest ways in which the idea needs to shape and reform to better serve the students. For the Montessori site, what this really meant was defining the questions that the parents would be coming to the site with and offering ways to structure the conversation around those questions. One of the main points I heard from parents was the importance of their involvement in the community from the very beginning. So I offered ways in which we could bring that idea into the conversation. We can do it through video, other visuals, testimonials, and talked about how they had been informed by what the parents needed and expected from the site. The role of the arranger is not just to facilitate the flow of the information from the audience to the idea makers. More than that, it's about knowing these two things so well that you can suggest ways in which to structure the information to best reach the needs and the expectations of the audience and ensure their success. What's so exciting about the prospect of this position is that it's not about me creating the answer. All that information is there. And so it heightens my creativity to figure out how to find the answer, how to make that bridge so that the students can help inform the idea and the idea can help the students be as successful as they can be. So that's why I'm really interested in applying for this position. And I think it's great that you acknowledge that it's needed to ensure the success of your students. So thank you.